Welcome back, Panther fans. I'm David Brown along with Ryan Graham.
Hey, y'all.
Tim Thurberg's back.
Hello.
And this is State of Atlanta.
Well, that's different, huh?
It's a little
Yeah, the pop of the can sounds a little bit different tonight is because we got our first sponsor, Post Meridium canned cocktails right here from Atlanta, Georgia. So this is a margarita that I'm pouring myself. What do you guys have?
I went with the Mai Tai.
and I got the vodka gimlet.
All right. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Yeah, they were doing a little taster up there.
Man, that smells stout. Oh, goodness.
It is real liquor in the can, real fruit juices, real everything. So
I haven't had a mixed drink in a while, so this is going to be new.
I
you're
quite
gonna
like
be fun
that.
tonight. You're gonna be fun tonight, Ryan. That's for sure.
All right.
They were doing a little taster thing up at their facilities off of Howell Mill, Chattahoochee, over there by Second Self and those breweries and everything. And one of my buddies works for them, doing a lot of their event coordinating, or all of their event coordinating and other things. So we were talking, and he offered to sponsor the episode. So thanks to the guys at Post Meridium, we'll be drinking margaritas, Mai Tais, gimlets, old fashions, daiquiris tonight, all on their buck.
I really
One
did
for
not
one.
expect it to have so much kick. This is it seems well worth it.
Yeah, the thing I think that's deceiving about it, these cans look so small, but once you pour it over ice, it's a legit cocktail. I mean,
Yeah. I
25
was gonna pour two in. I'm like, nope, no, I'm not.
no, save that. Anyhow, let's get started, guys. Good weekend for both of you.
Yeah, for the most part.
All right, excellent.
United lost. Whatever.
It happens a lot more often.
Braves
lately.
lost. United lost.
A lot.
Both
Both
baseball.
So you said that United lost, knowing that neither of us would care about that whatsoever at all, and then you had to throw in their Braves loss just to make me feel bad. And
I still don't care.
And Ryan still doesn't care. You know?
I saw that not only did the Braves lose though, but they got swept, right? Yeah.
I don't think it was swept. Was it swept? I think it was swept. I don't know.
That's what Google Alerts told me.
Okay, well, if Google Alerts said it, then it must be true. I don't know.
Sometimes it tells me weird things, and you guys are like, no, and then you're right. So Google lies sometimes. Don't automatically trust the Googler.
I do not trust Google in general. That's just
quick, let's Google that and see if they were right.
let's
Sometimes
not.
Ryan reads it wrong.
So last week the Panthers didn't do so hot. 2 out of 3, 2-3, 2 wins, 3 losses. Games are coming down, but not many games anymore because we really only have a couple of sports that are still playing. So yeah. Anyhow,
Cool. How's do we do more tennis, or were we done with tennis last week and I was too drunk to remember?
yeah, tennis is done. Men's and women's tennis are both done. All we got going on, beach volleyball is done. I think women's tennis has been done for 2 weeks now, Ryan. So really all we got left going on is a baseball, softball, and the women's track and field. They had a meet up in Athens, and I was reading the coverage of it. Some of the ladies did personal best or conference best, but didn't really take any hardware from the meet itself. So the conference tournament is coming up for women's track and field May 13th through 15th. So maybe we'll see something go on there.
All right.
Cool. Let's see. Baseball 1-1 against Coastal Carolina, who was behind us in the standings, and then they dropped the next 2. The last of which 10-12. Ugh. I hate when you score a lot of runs and you lose a game. That sucks. If you score 10 runs, you feel like, all right, that game's in the bag, and the other jerks from Conway end up scoring 12.
Yeah, that's a lot of runs across the board.
Yeah, so now we're solidly in last place of the East and tied with Monroe as worst overall in the conference.
Own it.
It's so weird though for a team that has great wins at the beginning of the season to just kind of fall apart and not be able to put anything else together. It's
Do all teams make the Sun Belt championships or no?
Yeah, I think all teams make the tournament,
Okay.
and we'll see how it plays out. But I mean, I just don't have a lot of confidence in the team based off the way the season's gone so far. I want to. It's a good team, good players on the team. I like the coaching, but I don't know what it is. It's just got some kind of things aren't clicking when they need to.
These are just practice rounds. We're fine.
Yeah, we'll get to the tournament. We'll just own it.
Just win it.
We're saving our wins for late in the season.
Pull an App State basketball or something. I don't know.
We play at Belmont this weekend, and then after that, it's just the last two conference series: Texas State and Little Rock, and then that'll go on to the tournament. So in about I guess that's like 3 weeks or something. Softball still struggling. Lost at Kennesaw. Lost, or I guess went 1-2 against Monroe. Sorry, 1-1 at Monroe. Game was canceled. They had a game canceled. I didn't even see why it was canceled. There was nothing from Georgia State that I saw through my extensive research about why that game was canceled. But I would assume it's because we wanted to leave Monroe. Like, all right, we got our win. We're taking off. We're leaving here.
1 win, out.
We're done. We got our win. We're out of here. They got last regular season games this week. They're hosting the Trash Down South Thursday and Friday. So,
who are our last baseball games again?
We are at Texas State and we host Little Rock to end out the season.
Okay, those are winnable series. They're 9-9 in the conference, both of them right now. They both have losing overall records, so they're 6 games.
It's close. They're 9-9. We're 7-11. So yeah, it's not out of reach. But again, we just played Coastal, who's last place in the East, and we gave up 10 runs in a game to lose it. So I don't know. I got faith, but man, they're making it hard this season.
So this was like an experiment. Was it worth it? Playing these super hard teams at the beginning of the season? Or is it just like, this is a building year, play the teams, why not?
I don't know if that had an impact on it, right? I mean, do you think that because they played them, it took the juice out of them later on? I doubt that.
I don't know. I feel like they kind of played consistently throughout. They would win one game and then lose the rest. We did the same thing.
Telling you, they got one good pitcher. That's what me having not watched a single game, couldn't name a single person. They've got one good pitcher in the rotation.
And he hasn't been playing. So
and he only plays one game a series.
he plays like one game a season. It looks like maybe 2 games a season.
Maybe.
Yeah. So we'll hopefully the conference tournaments will championships will turn it around, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, and I said women's track and field. So yeah, that's really it for the non-football, non-basketball sports right now. Definitely heading into the dead time. So what is it? The athletic year ends at the end of June. And starts back up July 1st.
I have no idea. Is that like a NCAA athletic year? No clue.
Yeah, it makes sense. You start up before the fall classes begin.
It's like the school season, basically.
Yeah, it's like it's a fiscal
August
year
to May or something.
Fiscal year of athletics, basically. Yeah. I think that's how the PAC does their donations, their members, and everything like that. It's not
really?
About the calendar year; it's based off of the athletic year. Yeah,
interesting. I had no idea that. That's weird because I always get so technically my PAC donation is for the previous year every year, because if I get it done early enough in the year, it's actually for the previous calendar year type of thing.
Okay, I don't know how weird accounting you got going on over there, H&R Block, but
I'm in the same year as last year's football season, right? The same athletic year.
Yes.
I think if you pay in January,
I pay in January. I pay as early as they will let me. When they send me an email saying, you want your season tickets, I buy them. So technically.
Do you care which year of athletics you're actually donating to right now?
Well, the thing that I'm saying is that the weird thing is when the football season starts, I will not be a PAC member because I will have paid in January.
No, I think, but what you've paid for is the athletic year. So it'll be through July through the following year. I
prepaid for it. I get you.
Yeah. I don't know. I forget. I break my donation out over the course of the 12 months because if they let you do that, why don't you do that? Which actually that part is actually January to December. It's not
I do the 5-month option because you can't automatically do 12 months. I don't think
you can do 5 months for tickets, but your PAC donation can be crossed out over 12.
But I just do it all in one transaction.
Yeah, I'm lazy and I don't want to spend extra money on them, so I just do it that way.
Fair.
Either way, I remember I was a member of the PAC board, and it was around June of the year, and I was like, I don't think I ever re-signed up to do my monthly contribution, and I reached out to athletics, and I'm like, hey, have I been paying you guys? And they're like, oh, you are not a PAC member right now. You are not a member. You are not allowed at meetings.
That's funny.
So
I just do it one fell swoop.
Oh, sorry. This drink is getting easier to drink.
Yeah, it's weird how when you drink something, it gets easier and easier the
Yeah.
more you drink it.
Yeah.
Except for
I
Pepsi.
just go the one fell swoop. I just give them all the money.
Take my money.
I'm terrible. Then I forget if I don't pay them, I forget, and then they kind of harass you a little bit. And
Oh,
then
I
you're
just automate it. I'm like, sign me up for 5 months, and they just auto draft it every month.
Well, we got a little something today since big dollar, big spending money. Tim over here, he decided that he wanted to pay his donation in full. We got you got a little PDF, kind of showing us what's going to be happening with facilities, right?
The athletics neighborhood.
How come I don't have this? What is this?
I don't have it either. He sent it to me.
I thought everyone had it.
This is you're highfalutin now, man. You're in the upper echelon.
Look at those blue lights. We need to do
And,
that for real.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So I like this. So they're showing the athletics, and so for everybody listening on just the podcast, we are showing this PDF file on our screen. You can check it out on YouTube or Facebook. For those of you watching it live, you can see it right now. So yeah, they've got this great rendering of Center Park Stadium. In the rendering, the finished baseball, softball, the Convocation Center, the volleyball courts up in the beach volleyball, and I guess volleyball takes over sports arena. You can see the soccer back where the old football facility is, and then the Cheney Park over there by Ryan.
Track and field.
So, and it's cool the way they did the lighting of it with the whole, like the blue going up. And so I'm saying that for every game we win, no matter what sport, this needs to happen across the city, right? We just do.
I agree.
I mean, I'm a big proponent that even like away games, they need to light it blue at the stadium or wherever. Yeah, I'm surprised they don't. I'm frustrated they don't.
We need to GoFundMe.
When they started, no more GoFundMe's. When they started doing the light it blue thing, I made a comment on some social media at saying, like, we need to get blue lights throughout all of campus, all of downtown, like every intersection, every corner, every building should be lit blue. And I forget who it was with with the university, but someone said, like, we've got plans, and I'm like, all right, I'm in. And then, nothing's ever happened that way. Maybe they mean those little blue boxes that you can call a cop if something happens to you downtown. David,
big plans. That's what they've got.
They are big plans.
They're going to announce it tomorrow.
So what else we got in here? Talking about Center Park Stadium. Most of this is, just history at this point because it's done. But there was one thing that I found cool about it was they break it down into phase 1, 2, 3, and 4. Phase 3 was completed in August 2019. So we're in phase 4, and that is the indoor practice facility at $7.5 million cost.
Okay, now get the GoFundMe started.
I hope that's the lowest priority thing on the athletics list.
I hope so. Yeah.
No, we'll get to the place that I think is the lowest priority. But yeah, but it's kind of cool to see that there was even just somebody asking today on Panther Talk where the next thing's going after baseball, softball. What are we looking at next? And they asked about indoor practice facility, and I think Ben was like, "No, I don't think it's going to be there." But no, that is the next thing as far as football goes. Is facility according to this document.
It's printed, man. It's got to be real. Wait, it's on the internet.
It was sent to Tim, so of course it's got to be legit, right?
Sent to Tim and no one else.
I thought I was like behind the times. I'm like, oh man, I got this 2 hours ago. I'm behind.
What? Honestly, I may have gotten it and just haven't
you probably deleted
emails yet. Exactly.
I will admit that some of this actually does look familiar to me, but then a lot of the stuff I know we've seen before, but some of the that opening page, the lights, that looks familiar. But then again, we drink a lot and we forget about a lot of things that happen to us. So.
Everything with the Convocation Center seems to. It feels like they've not been making a lot of progress lately, but maybe they're just making it more on the ground.
I saw one of those like the cement trucks over there, the big huge pipe that kind of pushes the cement down. So maybe they're finally getting foundation laid now that they have the steel beams all in place around the whole thing. I don't know.
Hey man, I might lose power. I don't know if you guys have a crazy storm going on, but
as soon as you said that, I started getting some thunder around here. So, yeah, but with the Convocation Center, I mean, Tim, did you have anything? Ryan, you've not seen this yet. Tim, you've seen it. Did you have anything more about the state football stadium before I move on?
The Convocation Center,
the football stadium.
Oh, you weren't on it. That's all. I haven't seen that field. The field with the I'm sorry. With the concert
Graduation.
set up like
Yeah.
that. That's not how Foo Fighters were set up.
That's graduation.
I got the food at the top.
Oh,
That's graduation.
that makes
Who's in the top photo? Is there a way you can change it so it's like full page, one page, or not?
Where we see
Okay.
just that instead of our beautiful faces.
Nah,
No, like just the one page of the document.
oh, but it's the concert on the top page, and that's the Foo Fighters concert, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
All
did,
right.
Foo Fighters.
and we have the 1079 birthday bash coming up here this summer for
Yeah.
a concert. So
We need more concerts in there, man. I don't know why I only got the one, but it's a great venue for that.
It was awesome, especially
Yeah.
in our suite.
yes, it was nice.
Especially that. Yeah.
So we've seen these three pictures already. Really, the only three things have been going on about the Convocation Center, but they have these two other pictures, this inside rendering,
Brand new.
and then this like kind of schematic layout. So, I mean, Tim, I don't know what you're talking about. I immediately looked into this schematic layout of everything.
Of course. The schedule, right?
Yeah. So, and I was trying to, figure out, well, my first thing was like, where are the suites? And if there's any kind of club seating or whatever. And I started thinking things were club seating that I don't think are anymore. I think that these two areas back here are locker rooms for men's and women's locker rooms. I think
Cool.
they'll have their own locker room back there. And I think down here in this, which would be the northwest corner, I think that's going to be your visitor team locker room.
Where are you pointing at?
The bottom
Bottom
left corner. I don't know. Can you not see my cursor? I don't know if you can see.
I can see
there
it.
it is.
Yeah.
Actually, if you look at the render up top, I think the teams are going to come out of those two tunnels, and they're going to be on the lower level, their locker rooms.
Yeah, everything is lower level because if you look up here in this this rendering here, there is nothing in these top areas, but behind that upper level, there's nothing up there. That's just
Right, but I feel like the architectural diagram is that mid-level, right? And I think the teams are going to come out of the tunnels that you can see in the far left and right.
I disagree. I think that all this stuff we see on the sides over here, I think that's all actually underneath the seats.
I think it's concourse. I'm going with it.
What's
Okay.
the dark green?
I don't know. Honestly, I'm wondering if someone actually just like printed on a Post-it note and photocopied over this whole thing because that's what it looks like to me. Let's
Yeah.
get
Someone highlighted
it. I think that's going to be either a classroom or kind of like a room for the coaches to take the players to look at film or whatever they do with their meeting area. I think that's
Oh.
what that area.
I'm going with club. I'm still going with it because of the last photo and the whole thing.
Well, I know what you're saying, but I think that's going to be along this concourse area. But I did notice looks like they're here in the four corners. It looks like we have concession areas. So
All right.
four different concessions points. I see bathrooms. I think they're what may be. I think this may on the either side of the locker rooms. I think that's going to be the men's and women's coaches' offices, or at least an office for game day. I'm not sure if they're going to do keep their offices at Sports Arena or over here. But I don't really know if I see necessarily a clubs or suites in this whole thing. But,
I don't know, man.
Just that one thing is what I see.
Yeah. Well, and that's it towards the end of the document. We'll get there. Looking at this rendering of the inside of the stadium, I think so. This is facing north. I believe we're going to have the players' benches are going to be here on the east side, and I say that because I see stairs coming down to what will probably be courtside seating on the west side here.
Right.
That makes sense. Can we talk about how they didn't fill the house in the rendering?
That's literally a note. That's literally a note I have in here. Why don't you have that? And
Well, they are watching nothing.
exactly, there are no players on the court. There are no coaches. Nobody. This is they're waiting.
It's like
for the
this
game.
is like 20 minutes before the game, before people have all come in.
Yeah, we haven't even put the chairs out yet. The press didn't even have their seats set up. This is like the night before, the day before. Everybody
Oh, these are all the really just hardcore fans that have
This
going to camp out in their seats.
It's just the dress rehearsal for the game that's the next day.
But yeah, I did notice that, right? Because I think when we did the renderings of Georgia State Stadium at first, they did actually have a game going on, and it was against Southern because that's just who we were obsessed with talking about all the time. But yeah, why not have something going on here? Why not have? Speaking of that, you'll see at the center, there's no scoreboard, no video board up top. looks like they're doing video boards in the corner. And I don't know why they have one large one on one side and a tiny one on the other side.
Yeah, the scale of the two boards is very non-soothing to me.
And so are they going to do the same thing on the opposite side? Is it going to be like flip-flop? I don't know. Why don't you have – we not afford 4 large video boards. We can only afford 2 large ones and 2 small ones.
I'm not sure. Like, the only thing I think I messaged you about was like, well, maybe they don't want a big, scoreboard hanging down the center court because it'll take away from the window.
That's a good point. Speaking of the window, I like the size of it. I don't know why it's got a little up top spot on the northeast side and not on the northwest side, maybe because of the video board. But I was thinking, how cool would it be if we actually put the band in that back section behind that basket? And so the band is kind of facing everybody and everybody gets to face the band and the window there.
Yeah, I like it.
Versus being in a corner, which is they've been in the sports arena, because there was no real ability for them to play behind a basket. I don't know if other college basketball teams like put their bands behind a basket, but I like that area there.
I'm curious about what's below the concourse, because there are stairs in the architectural drawing. You can see them. So I want to know if that's like accessible by the public, or is this just, here's your concourse level, enter, go into your seats, and that's it. There's stairs that go up to the 200 levels, right, that you can see around the green highlighted area, which that one last rendering, it says club something, right? And it has a picture pointed up to like 210.
Right. Yeah. Well, it does look on the west side over there, which would be on the courtside seating area. If there's any form of a club or suite area for fans to congregate, it looks like that's where it is. Because if you look on the opposite side, where I think that the locker rooms are going to go, that's all blocked off. There's no windows, no people, no anything right there at all. But I mean, you look at this thing. This is all arena. This is all basketball. Like these back walls behind the upper levels, that's the wall of the stadium. Like it.
Right.
Go back any further. That's it. When you drive by and you see that, it's very, very obvious. So
that's fine though. I mean, it's still bigger, isn't it, than Sports Arena? And
much bigger.
Yeah, 7,500 seating, but I think that 7,500 may be if they're doing something. They actually have seats on the court as well. I don't know if that's true or not. 7,500 max capacity. I don't know if that is for a basketball layout or for something else.
It looks like a pretty good size though. I mean, I'm not mad at it.
Oh, I'm excited about it. That window is amazing. It's sexy as hell all the way around. I wish they would have put the renderings of the logos on there, because I know they're going to want to put that stupid word mark under the Panther head, but I'm hoping we get the Panther head.
Are they not going to put the center scoreboard in the middle, the video board thing?
You like that Mai Tai, right? You missed that entire conversation we just had.
Did you not see me walk away?
Oh no! I'm staring at this awesome section.
I wandered away a little bit. What was the conversation?
No, it looks like they have the scoreboards and the video boards are going to be in the corners and different
weird
sizes.
scale.
They just bought that thing. I feel like it was just a few years ago that they bought the new scoreboard.
Yeah, that was wasn't it the shot bought that scoreboard?
Maybe.
So. Yeah,
I think that came out after the shot.
It was
for volleyball, though, right?
It was a huge upgrade, though. I mean, that old one was terrible, and the new one was like is super sharp.
It's much better.
I don't know why they wouldn't reuse it.
It's for volleyball now. They need it.
Yeah, right? I mean, the sports run is not going away.
Well, that scoreboard could.
Well, but it's time for new, Ryan. It's time for new.
All right, so I'm gonna make a bet right now. Bet with you, David. The players will come out from those tunnels, and they will.
Yeah,
the locker rooms will be below it. We can't see right now. You can't see down there,
guys.
Yeah. That northeast tunnel right there is where the Georgia State basketball teams will come out, men's and women's, and the northwest tunnel right there is where the opposing team's locker room or the opposing team will come out. Yes, I agree.
What should I do next, a daiquiri or Gimlet?
I moved on to the Mai Tai that you had first, and it's quite spicy and delicious. I like it.
I told you.
I went on to the daiquiri. It's quite potent. The Gimlet's actually really smooth. So
I think that's what I'm going to switch to. That's what I was looking forward to the most, but I thought Mai Tai was like the safest.
Gimlet is the one that, for the out of the postmortem drinks. Gimlet is the one that genuinely, based off talking to my buddy over there, and then to a few people around while I was at the event, Gimlet's the one that tends to get the best reviews. They like the Gimlet the best.
So far, it's my fave.
I've had all of them, and I would say the Gimlet is right up there, probably my favorite. But then the Margarita and the Old Fashioned are right there with it. To me, the daiquiri and the Mai Tai come in just slightly behind, but not a significant difference. I would drink all of these. I think they're great with these tiny little cocktails. If you're I'm not a hiker, I'm not a camper, but if you're a hiker and a camper and you like the booze, you can carry these things and not have to worry about carrying a whole bottle of liquor, a whole bottle of mix. You just need this and ice is all you need. But that's just me.
People don't hike with ice. You
make ice by moving two sticks together very slowly.
Oh my God. Let's go hiking. Okay, I'll bring the ice.
Well, if you drink cocktails at a camp, you're gonna have ice there. I'm saying.
No.
I've actually had the Old Fashioned before. Two of our friends that were going to get married and didn't because of COVID delayed their wedding, and they drove around and dropped off, everyone's kind of favorite cocktail that they know they like, which is kind of a cool gesture by them because they couldn't get married. Really, so I had the Old Fashioned, and it's solid.
My favorite cocktail is Pappy, so they need to get me some Pappy bourbon. That's what I want.
That's all you want.
Yeah.
Are there any brands in any of these? I couldn't tell. They kind of have generic, like Silver and West Indies rums in the daiquiri, and
I think it's all legit liquor. The Old Fashioned with its bourbon is bourbon. It is by a federal mandate. It is.
Oh yeah, right. Has to be
the national spirit. So
yeah. All right. Cool. Well, enough on that.
So you guys got anything else on the convocation center we see here?
Dear God, no.
I'm excited. Let's fast forward a year.
Yeah, exactly. Let's be talking about this exact same thing just months away from it opening up. The next thing I had in here is a baseball complex and the softball complex, which I thought it was interesting that they priced them out separately. Baseball at $7.5 million, just like the indoor practice facility, because that's what things cost. $7.5 million. Apparently,
whoever is estimating is just like, that seems like a nice number. And
copy paste.
Yeah.
But one of the nice things, is it's a 1,500 chair back seats. So no more just plain old bleachers at a baseball game. You actually have a legit seat. So 1,500 of those, but then the softball complex, which is coming only in at $5 million, because, obviously why would we spend the same amount of money on women as we do men?
It's significantly smaller.
It's got 500 seats, but honestly, the cost per seat is higher at the softball complex. So you could really call the softball complex the more luxurious of the two.
Well, what if they're just making more money because they cost less because they're buying in bulk?
Okay.
Baseball has a video board, but softball has a video scoreboard.
What?
There's your money.
So the baseball board will not be showing the score.
No. TV, of course.
Some of the most important things here, they do say there will be concession stands at both, which I don't know if it'll be a shared concession stand space, which could be, I don't know. Either way, will it be open? Because at Panthersville, the 2 games I've been to, it's not been open. They're not being selling anything. And then, of course, the most important question of all is, if you're not going to be selling booze, can I bring my own stuff inside?
It does look like it's a shared concourse, which would, to me, mean that it would just be the same concession stands. And I think in the spirit of baseball, you should be allowed to bring your own, right? I mean, that's kind of how baseball works, isn't it?
It's the way it kind of works at Panthersville right now. So it should.
Yeah. Isn't there no gate? Isn't this supposed to be open all the time?
The very far back area where Hank Aaron's memorial will be available 24/7. And that's that stretch that goes between the two. So I could see how they could block off the actual fields from that concourse, but you can still walk through anytime. Because if you want to go pay memoriam to Hank Aaron at 3:00 a.m. on a Tuesday, you need to be able to get access to go do that.
I could foresee us doing that. Like after last call somewhere in Summerhill, just being like, let's go.
Let's go toast to Hank. Let's go toast to Hank. It's toast one to Hank. I got my post meridian cocktail. Let's go.
We make pretty stupid decisions at that time.
Yeah. And then let's see, move on. Get to these sports arena. There's a whole list of updates. They're going to do the sports arena, making it basically volleyball, court volleyball is like official home and just their home. But I'm like, all right, this is where I said this is probably what's going to be coming in after indoor practice facility. They're talking about, new retracting walls, new bleachers, new playing court, upgraded locker rooms and offices.
New seats.
Yeah, $3 million. The cost for women's stuff just keeps on going down further and further. Strength and conditioning upgrades. I mean, no disrespect to the volleyball whatsoever at all. I've already made, my comments about the women not getting as much as the men there. I think that this is what's going to be the last priority for upgrades, unless somebody comes in and commits money to this specific.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of already have a venue to play in right now, right? So,
yeah, well, they're getting the exact venue they play in currently. Yeah,
right, just upgraded. So, I mean, it can wait for other things that need to move and get into downtown that are, stuck in Panthersville.
If we want them to get better facilities, we want this to happen faster, we need to start making volleyball a spectator sport. Let's start go out there and watch the games.
I mean, is that upper right picture like literally have basketball players playing basketball on the court at the time?
Well, it does say GSU Sports Arena, and that is
home.
Yes, it will be the home of the volleyball, but
in this picture, it's the home of basketball.
Yeah, basketball's not going to be playing here.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Ever.
All right. Moving on to the
soccer.
The old football field being taken over by soccer.
Hey, I like what they did with the place.
This is what I find interesting is they talk about all the things that need to be done and they're listed as completed and then estimated budget $2.5 million. I'm like, well, but if they're completed, then why is it an estimated budget?
Well, not all of it's done, right? They still have spectator seating areas to do and grass playing.
Yeah. And there is this whole just dirt field they have in the bottom right corner. Like they pulled up everything and it's just a big dirt pile now.
That's not even it, is it?
You gotta sell it that there's nothing there.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced that that's the same place.
I'm trying to figure out what that could be, and that's all I've come up with is it's just the field there with the old football turf torn up. It was turf. It was turf there. We didn't have grass.
That's the half field, I think, right? Is that what that is? It's pointed at like where like Nick's Euro and like all that stuff is. I think that's right above the liquor. That building in the picture is right above the liquor store, I think.
The former liquor store.
No, there's a liquor store.
Oh,
no, not at Azar's. The new one. Neighborhood.
By the way, that Azar's sign hangs over the pool of that apartment complex.
Fun.
That's too funny.
Yeah.
Was that scoreboard always there, or is that new?
That's the thing. That's what I don't recognize.
Is this a deep? Is this all? This is just.
I don't know, man. I like that they changed the orientation of the field. That they took the half field and then the other half of the full field instead.
I think that's the only way you can fit in a soccer field
because it's wider.
Which means you really only have that backside practice field area where you can have any kind of stands and seating. You're not going to be able to have seating area other than that northwest side of the soccer field.
They could put some stands on top of the building.
Yeah.
Or they could just do like you've been to Georgia Tech's football field with Bobby Dodd or whatever it's called.
Once ever.
Yeah, and that end zone where they just have like out of nowhere, there's just a huge, massive cement end zone seating that just goes sky high. We just do that over that whole section behind the facility and have this huge area to watch it. Yeah.
Ooh, that gimlet's nice.
Right?
The gimlet is solid.
Ooh, yeah, I might. That could be trouble. That's nice.
All right, let's get through here. We got beach volleyball. Beach volleyball may have some upgrades to it, but it really doesn't need anything besides a little tiki bar. That's estimated $500,000 to add the stuff there. No, but I see nothing about a tiki bar. I need a tiki bar at my beach volleyball courts.
Yeah, it looks like they've got some palm trees.
Those are already there.
Oh,
It would definitely up attendance to have a tiki bar. That's all I'm saying.
For sure, right? I mean, if you want people to come to places, serve alcohol. That always works.
Yeah, it's
I've
always
never
weird.
had anybody that said, "I don't want anybody to come here. I'm opening a bar."
Oh boy.
Then you can see a basketball practice facility, which was our old swimming area. They got filled in, and tennis moving to Clarkson, not Peachtree City.
Oh my lord, are you kidding me?
Look at that.
Wait, but at least that's campus.
It's campus.
It is
It's moving
campus.
to a campus.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm okay with it. I'm fine with that. Peachtree City didn't make any sense. There's no campus down there.
No, there's not.
So
And the Bobby Jones golf course, that's pretty much all, I guess for the most part, has been completed as well.
Right.
I thought that wasn't ours though.
The state,
It's a partnership.
they signed it
Yeah.
over to us. They
All
signed
right,
it over to us.
cool.
Over there by you, Ryan, Cheney Track Complex.
Yeah.
To be done. That's great. I think that's awesome to get track and field on there. Hopefully we can get men's track back. We can get women's lacrosse either at Center Park or at the soccer complex to offset men's track coming back.
They got some serious work to do to that place, man. It floods on any little bit of rain. There's lots of bumps in it. It's not the best track.
That's funny because wasn't it Olympic training back when they went through
was.
96?
Yeah, I think there's just wear and tear, but it definitely floods.
Yeah. So this is what Tim was talking about earlier. Way in here, it's in their area where they're talking about getting naming rights, whatever. And it says your name here, club room. So there is some space for a club of sorts somewhere in what appears to be the basketball arena. And
I'm all in for a club as long as it serves booze.
Is that Ryan from Panther Talk up there in the tracksuit looking thing?
Yeah, it kind of looks like him.
It does look like him.
well, look, if he was doing his best RoboCop impersonation, maybe. Also, this chick
I don't know
with
what he does in his free time.
this girl with like the 90s short
hair.
shorts and the black tights. Like it's awesome.
Yeah, that looks like my neighbor.
It does show you how tight the arena is going to be, though, because you can see, off to the side where outside of the club room, basically you can see the other side of the wall already. That's a tight hallway.
If you haven't had the opportunity to drive by the sports arena or the convocation center being built, and you can see how tight it is. There is no room for anything else. Which I'm kind of curious if they would have turned it 90 degrees, if they would have had more room to do stuff. But I guess they wanted to keep that parking area there or something like that. But
I wish
do
this
want
was last
parking.
call.
Yeah.
So that's it.
We can talk about it on last call. That's fine. I know where you're going.
Yeah, we talked about this for 38 minutes already. This was a topic that came up about an hour before we started the show. So.
I actually got no forewarning about this. Everything from me was a live reaction.
We wanted your live, raw reaction.
It was I was driving back from dropping off the cocktails at your house, Ryan, when Tim sent me this whole thing.
I was like, did you get this? And he said, yes. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm late. And then he's like, where did you get this? I'm like, wait, you didn't get this.
No, I lied.
No, you sent it to me. Where did you get it?
I just thought I was
Did you get
behind,
this?
man.
Yeah, you just sent it.
Yeah. Well, I had two topics I wanted to talk about
All right, let's do it.
tonight. We're already 39 minutes in. I'll give you guys the option. We can talk about both of them, or leave one for last call, or both for last call.
Let's do the article.
Yeah, actually, so let's get to John Weaver. Did we drop a master plan? I will tell you that compared to what Cheryl Levick told us was a master plan back 10 years ago, yes, this was a master plan that got
It actually is. Yeah, this would have been super nice.
Yeah, and and honestly on the file name itself, it says V4. So this is a version 4 of what they've been working on. So
Cheryl Levick's was V1. You didn't know though.
no, that was like alpha. That was like
V.9.
Yeah,
She put double top secret on it. No versions.
It never made it to version 1.
Yeah.
John,
Yeah.
we'll share the PDF file with you. We'll share it with you.
I'm wondering if I was supposed to get this now. I mean, if you don't have it, Ryan, you've looked, you don't have it. John Weaver obviously doesn't have it.
No, he seems excited.
So we're gonna get a cease and desist tomorrow, David. Just FYI.
It's already out there now. It's done. You can't delete stuff off the internet.
Yeah.
Because you know they're all backing up the State of Atlanta video files on YouTube.
I do. Hello.
Yeah, so I got two things I wanted to talk about tonight. One is the possibility of a Sun Belt team leaving the conference, and the other was like not just some rumors, but some like legit conversations about college football playoff expansion in football and how that may affect Georgia State and just the G5s in general. But we don't care about the G5 in general. We care about Georgia State. Do you guys want to talk about both of those, one of those, or
we should talk about playoff expansion? I think that's
I agree.
A more interesting thing. I think.
Yeah, Tim, I agree. What do you think? I mean, you're already overruled, but what do you think?
Take one to last call. Playoff expansion sounds fantastic. Let's do it.
All right.
What do you got?
So it's not just a bunch of internet rumors. They've actually announced from the spring meetings that there was 63 different playoff expansion scenarios discussed by the College Football Playoff Committee. All of those including either going from 4 to 6, 8, 10, 12, or 16 teams. I'm going to link 2 articles in the description, one from CBS with the whole thing, and then another one that kind of gave me the reason to bring it up today was a guy talking about how it affects the American Athletic Conference. And so since we want to be in that conference, we should talk about it. And because they're talking about a G5 conference, we should talk about it. So, the expectation is they would move from just 4 to 8. But apparently 12 is getting the most interest by the committee at this point, according to this article.
Yeah, I thought they'd inch along. Honestly, I figured you'd get like 6 or 8 would be like the discussion. We'd probably get 6, and just we'd gradually increase. But it sounds like 12 is what's got the most heat, and that's what I've been calling for all along. You let the 5 P5s conference championships go in, get some at-larges and like the best G5, which I know, David, already you're not that into making that distinction, but I am. I'm fine with it, and I think that's the best way forward.
Yeah, I feel like this was coming. I mean, with the 14 playoff, it just didn't. The controversy started getting louder and louder every year. It seemed like, especially this year too, about the teams that thought they should be in, who gets the 4th spot. Obviously that conversation will just move now to the 12-13 spot, like who's the 13th team, who didn't get in. But I think you'll avoid all this was the best 4th place team that should have, like 5th place, that should have been in the playoff.
That right? Who's the 13th team is a much easier conversation to have than like who's the 5th.
Right. There'll be less argument there.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly.
You weren't going to win anyway.
So you're absolutely right, Ryan. I disagree with anything being done within the actual terms and rules of the playoffs that distinguishes a G5 team being admitted. There should be no distinction there whatsoever at all. If they go to 8 teams or if they go to 12 teams, let's look back at this previous year, just going in prior to the college football playoff, that last rankings they did. Cincinnati was the 7th ranked team in the college football playoff standings. They would have been included in the playoffs, regardless of any kind of P5, G5 distinction. And so if we already have a G5 team that's making it to top 10, top 8, then top 8 or top 12, sure. There's no reason for us to push for a G5 conference champion being forced.
Here's why there is a reason to do it, and it's strength of schedule. So you might have a very good G5 team who has literally just never had the opportunity to prove how good they are on the field, even though they are that good. And so when you let the best one of the people who have generally a lower strength of schedule on, you let them prove themselves.
No, I see what you're saying, but what I'm saying is we're already getting a G5 team that's showing up in the top 8, the top 12. It's already happening. Cincinnati was the number 7 team in the nation going into the college football playoff last year.
For 1 year.
The only thing you've got to worry about now is you can put a G5 team as number 7 in the college football playoff rankings with no fear right now because they're not playing in the college football playoff. So now if you have 8 teams, now you're kind of, is the selection committee going to include the G5 team in the top 8 or the top 12? But that just comes down to making sure they actually rank teams correctly. And I'm not sure we're ranking teams correctly anyways.
I was going to say, remember, this isn't the top 12 teams or even the top 11 teams. This is your conference championships plus a couple of at-larges.
No, it should not be that way. It is not.
I disagree completely. It
does not need to be
that way.
It does not need to be conference. I've kind of gone back and forth on this a little bit. Before, I used to say take the top conference champions in the top 10, whatever they may be, whoever they may be. But I don't want to see a crap team play against a massive, huge team and just get obliterated, and that become common nature. Oh, we're going to have players that have NFL aspirations. They're going to sit out because I just don't want to play against an inferior team and run the chance of getting injured or something. There's too much at stake.
Does that happen in basketball?
Yeah.
Right now, so Georgia State, we go and we're ranked. We're
Georgia State, because any Georgia State player needs that post tournament.
They need every minute.
Yeah. No.
You're saying the higher ranked team will bench people.
Sit.
Yeah.
No way, because they don't want to lose. I mean, that would be like Baylor benching their top players against us when we beat them. That doesn't make any sense.
They might pull the QB or something if they're up, right?
What?
They might pull their QB if they're up big, right? They don't need them.
The top G5 is still going to be like a really good team, probably. I mean, like usually, in the last 10 years, I think there's always been one G5 team at least.
Look at the NFL right now. When you get to the last couple of games of the season, you've got players that they get benched by the coaches because we don't want them to get injured as we head into the playoffs. I don't want to see that kind of crap happen in college football. So I'm saying we already have, if we can get pollsters to actually be legit and rank teams accordingly, we already have a G5 team coming in to the top 8 or the top 12. We don't need the rules of the NCAA, the rules of ESPN's college football playoff to distinguish conferences as P5 and G5.
They already do.
It's not. But
David, you're not stopping anything by not letting them.
And all I'm doing is hurting things by putting it in paper.
It's already on paper.
I'm not hurting.
They already have more voting rights in the NCAA than us.
I'm not hurting anything at all by making it distinguish because a G5 team is already there. We already have the top ranked G5 making the top 8.
Not always.
That would be, but do they always belong in the top 8?
What would UCF have made it the year they beat Auburn?
I didn't look that up.
Probably.
I mean, they would have made it if you let the top ranked G5 team in, for sure.
Now, Ryan, I wasn't paying attention to your counter argument at all.
Okay.
But I was hoping you said something to the effect of, well, if they do this, then the P5 teams will stop playing the G5s and they won't have that strength of schedule to get to the top.
No, I did not.
You'll be iced out at the edge.
Yeah.
If you put rules in place that establish a P5, so right now P5.
David, you got to stop that. David, they already have those rules. Those rules exist already.
P5 and G5 are media and fans.
No, they're not. They're not.
They are. There's nothing in the NCAA that establishes a P5 or G5 team. That is, I mean,
you're
honestly,
not right, but we should stop arguing because both of us don't have sources.
No, I totally know what I'm talking about because I said it.
Okay.
These things are fantastic.
See, it's good stuff. I'm on to
the conversation's like next level already.
I'm on the daiquiri right now, and when I had it before, I was like, "This is probably my 4th or 5th favorite out of the 5." And I'm like, "This is good right now. This is some good stuff." But
daiquiri.
You're on daiquiri too, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm afraid of is there's already the talk, especially over there in Europe, their Super League, and there was like articles written about a potential Super League in college football. I don't want there to be any like functional reason for there to be a split from the top of the P5 and the rest of FBS. And I know you say it already exists, Ryan, but I don't want there to be anything like in like functional writing that says it's out there. If we're going to expand it, I don't think that the playoff committee is going to expand straight from 4 to 12, maybe 4 to 8, most likely 4 to 6, just to test it out and see how it goes. But 16 teams is in the consideration of the 63 possibilities. 16 teams is considered, and I would love to see us get there. But we will never get to 16 teams in the college football playoffs in FBS if we make a distinction of P5 and G5 here in the top 8. It's not going to happen.
I don't want a distinction. I'm with you, but I can also see what I was just saying of the P5 basically icing the G5 out by saying, okay, fine, top 12 teams in, don't care who you are. We're not playing you anymore. Your strength of schedule goes to hell.
I mean, honestly, that's what it should be. I mean, you should really rank the top 12 teams. And
I can see the P5 doing that then.
Take the top 12 teams. That's what it should be. If you want to have a legit a playoff, you take the top 12 teams.
So here's what I was talking about. It's not the NCAA. I was wrong about that. But the college football playoff already, the committee members include one current athletic director from each of the 5 major conferences, the P5 conferences, and other members are former coaches, players, athletic directors, and administrators, plus a retired member of the media. Like, they don't even mention G5.
So if I stop doing this podcast, can I get invited to be that 5-person
the one retired member of the media?
Absolutely.
Are we media? Can we claim to be media?
Oh yeah, of course. Of course. The most hard-hitting news here.
So here's my idea, the way I think it'd be the best. Because what I don't want to see is big teams just pulverizing the smaller teams in the college football playoffs. I'm all for a 16-team playoff, but you have a 2-round bye for the top 4, a 1-round bye for 5 through 8, and then you let everybody else, was it 6 through other crap, play out and kind of work their way up. I think that could be a really good, because you would actually get legit good games at that early on. It's the same thing with the basketball tournament. Yes, we finally saw a 16 seed beat a 1 seed. How long did it take in college basketball? But college basketball is different than college football. I want to see some good games at a lower level of playoff and have those teams work their way up. So a G5 or a bad P5 team has to play 3 games to make it to the championship. Whereas,
the first round buys sort of help with that, right?
Yeah, you do a 2-round bye for the top 4 teams and a 1-round bye for 5 through 8. And I think then we get some compelling football, some real compelling football.
Well, and I know you also hate this idea because you don't like conference champions going in, but you let all 10 conference champions in and then 6 at-larges.
No, I think when you start making that kind of argument is when you start losing a lot of people because they want the money. They want to see
but you're playing for something. It's to your point. You're always playing for something. So for conference champions, you're always like just trying to get into those playoffs.
I don't disagree. And I was with you for the longest time. And the more and more I've thought about it.
Yeah.
I just don't want to see crap football. I want to see good.
I don't think you do in that scenario. I mean, I think your conference champions probably are going to play a decent game.
So I was looking at it. If we would have done my idea, my idea was a 12 team thing.
And you're just taking top 12.
The top 12 teams. You would have gotten in the first round: Georgia, Wisconsin, Miami, Oregon, Oklahoma, BYU, Indiana, Iowa State in the first round of the playoffs. I think that's fun. That sounds good. Assuming all top seeded teams win, then
wait, Coastal's not in there?
No, Coastal was ranked 20th.
Oh,
so
just on the outside looking in.
So assuming that the top seeded teams won the first round playoff, then you get Texas A&M versus Georgia, Florida, Miami, Cincinnati, Oklahoma. There's your G5 team, Cincinnati in second round. And then you get Northwestern, Indiana, some good games. And assuming, again, the top-seeded teams win, you're looking at Bama, Texas A&M, a conference game, Notre Dame, Florida. I got a footnote, Notre Dame. Clemson, Cincinnati, and then Ohio State, Northwestern. That's a fun 3 or 4 weeks of football to get us to the semifinals.
I like your idea with the 16 teams and the buys and all that. Like, I think you'd have some really good first round games with the lower teams trying to duke it out to like basically a play-in game, right?
Right.
I mean, it's playoffs, but it's a play-in.
It's play-in game. It's playing game. So my footnote on Notre Dame is maybe we would finally stop getting the pollsters putting Notre Dame in the top 4. Because they
just put them in.
Yeah, like, we'll put them as number 5 team. They'll get a 1 round bye. And we stop getting Notre Dame as a high-seeded team that has no business being in the college football playoffs to begin with.
I love I love the 16 teams. I would take 12 in a heartbeat, just in a heartbeat. I think that would make even if they chose at random between the way that we want to actually select people to be into it, it will make it worlds better.
Yeah,
yeah.
So we got heated and we care a lot about nonsense because we're sports fans and that's what we do, especially when we drink. But everything we've said would be so much better than this top 4 stupid.
So we're not going from 4 teams to 12 teams. I don't think.
Yeah, we are.
But we're going from 4 to 6 or 4 to 8.
6 would be dumb, but that's what I expected.
All I want is that when we do move, when they move, that there's no P5, G5 distinction. Like they're not including a G5 champion just to include a G5 team. If a G5 team is in the top 8, then yeah.
No, I'm with you. I mean, I think if they go to 6, it's not enough. That tension of the top 4 is now top 6. You're still going to have it.
And so Tim, think about this. This was originally a 12-year agreement between the schools and ESPN, the college football playoffs and ESPN, which they're already looking at redoing 2 years earlier. If we just go from 4 to 6, how many years is that going to be in there before we can renegotiate something else? So I say go to 8. Don't make any distinction on G5. Just say take the if you want to do anything, say take the top 4 conference champions in the top 10 or something, and then the rest are at larges.
I think with 8 they might not make a distinction. With 12, I think they would make a G5 distinction.
All right, hold on, John.
Whether you like it or not, whether we agree with it or not, I think that's what they'd do.
So John says one of the problems with that playoff structure is what do you do with 3 undefeated conference champs? ACC, one of those teams has to play 3 games. Is there going to be an undefeated? Is there going to be an undefeated ACC, SEC, or big team that's going to play 3 games? I don't know.
Could be. I guess if you have like a Eastern, Atlantic Coastal.
Any undefeated team in those 3 conferences is going to be ranked 1 through 4, and we'll only have basically have a bye into the quarterfinals.
I think the ACC is your outlier. You could have a terrible Coastal, I think that's what it's called, team, or the Atlantic, whatever, get to the championship, win it, and they're not in that top slot. They took out the top slot, right? And then what do? Well, it's like whatever. So you didn't deserve to be there anyway.
Well, we were talking about earlier that there's a big distinction between who's that 4th and 5th team, but then you start talking about who's like that 10th and 11th team or whatever it may be. That's so much different. Like it's who cares at that point. And then
it's different.
He updated it to 2.
I put it up there. Yeah.
You also can't. The ACC, you're all worried. You were worried about them being the ones that would have this problem, but like Clemson's just been killing everybody.
Right. Well, they're easiest to pick on that.
You also can't build the whole structure based off of
Clemson.
I mean, they're a bad conference. They have like a number 1 team for the past however many years. So number 1 or 2.
Yeah. Hey, so we're hitting an hour, guys.
Woo! I mean, I think we talked about fun stuff though, especially
good time.
Us yelling at each other and talking over each other and stuff. That was the best.
That works well. That works really well.
Yeah, I mean, you get liquor in us, man, and it's a little different.
It's a holder, and to think that we actually talked about getting together today to do this live together, all in the studio, would have been
amazing.
We would have lost at least one of you guys on the way home tonight. So,
oh boy. Especially with all this rain, man. I mean, it sounds pretty crazy out there.
It's pretty bad out there.
I don't know if you heard the thunder after the lightning just a few minutes ago, but that was intense.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, we're gonna head over to last call at this point. There was the other topic I wanted to bring up was about potentially one of the conference members leaving. There's been some talk about it happening. We know that we know there's talk between Missouri Valley Conference and one of the basketball schools. I'll give you that much. And we're gonna talk about that.
Too much.
We'll talk about that in last call. Yeah.
If you're a Patreon member, join us.
Yeah.
We might talk about how many millions of dollars it'll take to finish our master plan.
$7.5 million.
So I drank a margarita, a Mai Tai, a daiquiri. I only got through 2.5 cocktails during this versus like my normal 8 Miller Lights, and I'm feeling pretty good right now.
I just did 2, and I poured another gimlet.
Smooth
I'm on my
move
third.
right there. Yeah. I did daiquiri, vodka, gimlet, and I'm on a margarita right now, which is actually pretty good. I like that one. Good call, David.
I know you told me to be careful about saying negative things, but I'm gonna. It smells funny. It's so good. Like I smelled it and I was like, ew, it smells weird. And then I tasted it and I'm like,
that's COVID. That's COVID.
That's what she said.
I mean, sometimes, you know.
Yeah. So in honor of Post Meridium sponsoring the episode,
Shout out.
Our free ship code this week is cocktails. Special thanks to Post Meridium for giving us some drinks tonight. I think we had a good time talking about the Georgia State and college football playoff and all the facilities and everything. If you would like to join us on last call and get access to it early, please consider joining our Patreon. It's only $3 a month. You get access to our private group chat as well, available at patreon.com/State of Atlanta. We're going to go over there. We're going to talk about these cocktails. We're going to talk about this team possibly leaving the conference, what it means to Georgia State, and
one more thing. I don't have to pee.
Oh, I do.
I know, but it's just weird. Usually right now I'm like racing off and, only having a couple of ounces of liquid in me.
It's definitely benefit.
Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. You're good.
So wait, should we extend this podcast episode for David? Just keep talking.
Well, fortunately, I have the end broadcast button, and neither of you do. So.
Okay, fine. More facilities pouring it after call.
All right. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks everybody for listening. We'll talk to you next week about who the hell knows. It'll be Georgia State related somehow. We'll figure out a way to make it Georgia State related.
Yep. Bye, y'all.
Peace.